Hello, Meaghan and Marc. Thank you guys so much for coming to our little active couch talks. We are in the Innovation Center. I'm really excited to have you guys here. You're our very first podcast guests ever.
Well, thank you for having us.
Yeah, the Small City Big podcast. We're really excited to get this going and kind of share some stories of the people that live and own businesses in Salmon Arm. So I'm really excited to have you guys here. You guys have a craft brewery. You have a tap house, which is really exciting. Last year, you guys won Business of the Year or the Business Excellence Awards. You've got some really unique partnerships and collaborations in town. So I'm really excited to, bring that all to light through this conversation. So let's just start by hearing from you guys just a little bit about who you are and Ricochet Brewing.
Yeah, for sure. We've lived in Salmon Arm for about 18 years. We both worked in Salmon Arm as young adults, and we came from Grand Prairie, Alberta, went back home, got married, and decided that Salmon Arm was where we wanted to be. So we moved here. We had a construction company for that duration of the time. And Marc took a work injury a few years ago, but has always loved home brewing. And so when the construction company was no longer operating in the way that we really desired it to, we started crunching the numbers on what it would look like to open up a brewery in Salmon Arm.
Yeah, it kind of gave us a new look on town that we found something that was missing and wanted to fill that void to its best potential. So our first kind of big push was to be the first and only locally made craft beer on the stores in liquor shelves. So we have obtained and worked with all the local liquor stores to get our product on the shelves, and they're very acceptable to our product as it comes out. Always grabbing new beers as it hits the shelves, so it's cool to see us filling that void that we saw when we started the business. So
that's awesome. We always get asked where our name comes from, and just right from that, like we had a construction company, we ricocheted off of life's ups and downs, and we chose to go a new direction with that.
That's really cool. I actually didn't know that. So that's really neat. And because, you said it was a work injury that kind of speared on. So you had a passion for craft beer or brewing, home brewing?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, sorry, it was home brewing.
Yeah, something we started on the back deck just for enjoyment, just having something to do on a Saturday evening and kill some time and just hang out. We got a beautiful spot by the lake, and the views are great, and you might as well just sit back and enjoy it every once in a while. So it's a cool opportunity, and we got to perfecting some of the recipes, and the beer was tasting really good, and we're like, okay, well, maybe we can do something with this. So and sparked the idea to open the brewery. So
at the time we had a shop in our backyard, and we were adding on for a spray bay for the construction company, and that's when the kind of work injury happened, and Marc was like, maybe we should open a brewery in our backyard. I was like, no. He's like, well, I'm just going to add on just a little bit more just in case. And I'm like, whatever, we always need more space anyways. So he did that. And then, and then we really got busy into just diving into industry, diving into, business market and numbers and what that would look like. Yeah, here we are. 3 years later.
3 years later, that's right. And you guys have completed, as far as Ricochet is concerned, a ton in 3 years. And you've done it all while juggling a family, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
Can you speak a little bit about that? Just kind of starting the business, having a family, being in Salmon Arm.
Our kids we've always had a business. We had Zaichowsky construction pretty much both, when we got married and on. And so they were always used to us in the grind a little bit. We probably had a little bit more free time, but we were flexible. So they, being able to take an extra day off and go camping or that kind of a thing. And then the brewery planning, they were right along there with us. The day that 53-foot semi showed up in our yard full of stainless steel tanks, they were just as excited as us. And so taking them along in that process of building a business and what it takes, and yes, mommy and daddy both have to work right now, but this is what we're working towards. And having them involved in that has been a game changer, taking them along for that journey as well. And the same thing when we opened up the tap house. The day we got the keys to that place and we walked in there and started ripping things apart, they were right there with us, knocking down walls. And so then the day that opened up, they were just, they were just so excited for us, with us.
Yeah.
Just being a part of that journey. Yeah.
I love that. It's a family affair.
Yeah.
And it's nice because you've got, they had the experience of you already having that business. So they it just sounds like they naturally had that experience. But this is a little bit more,
we've been
inclusive with them.
Yeah. And the last couple of years the year we launched the brewery and the year that this last year with the tap house has been very intense. It's not easy. It has not been easy on them. But yeah, I think as parents, we've kind of made sure that they also have something of their own. The kids are big into sports, so just making sure that they have something that they are also working towards has been a priority for us, to make sure that they're not just on the sidelines.
Yeah.
Watching us.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of nice, we'll get maybe into the tap house and sort of that development and how how you went from the brewery to the tap house, or craft brewing to the tap house. But having that location, that physical location, you guys built a room for your kids to be there.
Yes.
Not only that, but you added, kid-friendly items to the menu. You can get a kid's flight, which is super fun. I know that a lot of adults also, yes. It was so popular, we had to make an adult snack flight. There was the candy and the cheesies with a beer and a cider. So funny. I love it. I'm like, give me the little dinosaurs and I'm happy. This is amazing. But I love that you guys really took the whole family lifestyle and put it in. It's maybe a little bit harder with construction, to do that. Yeah. But with the tap house, you guys have naturally created this beautiful sort of family atmosphere, not only for yourselves, but also for the community, which is lovely.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's talk a little bit about you started this craft brew. I kind of love that it felt a little inspired by living on the lake. You were like, I'm sitting by the lake. Why wouldn't I have a beer? Why wouldn't I make my own beer? I love that. Because a lot of what Salmon Arm offers is our lake. I mean, obviously there's so many different things, but that lake is it's so picturesque. It's right there. It surrounds the whole region, the whole Shuswap region. So I love that the lake is a little part of that. But so you have this craft brewery, you're getting it into liquor stores, you're selling it, you're doing lots of farmers markets. We didn't really talk about that, but a lot of events, yes. So then you decide to open a tap house. How did that sort of transpire?
That one was pretty easy from my mindset, a little more difficult from hers, but I would always be working the downtown farmers market with Ricochet and selling our product there and doing samples, and I'd stand on the street in my tent and I'd look down the street, and I'd always look at this for lease sign on the side of a building. I think I could do something with that. And so it just kind of spurred on the okay, this is the next step. This is what we're working towards. This is an opportunity that's here in front of us. We just got to figure out how to accomplish it, take it on. The building of the physical space is easy for us because of the construction background. We felt very comfortable in that aspect. And then the day that the doors opened, that was a total different chaos moment. But party
as we got. Here we go.
We literally jumped off head first. We have never been in hospitality, and this kind of jumps ahead, but hiring our staff, just being super honest with them with we don't know what we're doing. This is not a well-running machine that you're jumping into. This is from scratch, and we're in this together, and we're gonna build this tap house as a team.
Yeah.
We always get asked it's not often that you find a craft brewery start just manufacturing. Normally, you have a manufacturing tap house hand in hand. You have a tasting room, something like that. But because we were unique and we didn't have a tasting room, because the brewery is on our personal property, we chose to just focus on manufacturing right from the get-go.
Right.
But we felt that was necessary for building our brand and making sure that we were well established before we jumped in too far too fast into something that could easily crash.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially coming out of COVID. We did all our planning in COVID, and that just seeing all the businesses close down and struggle. And unfortunately, some breweries have struggled through COVID and came out and just haven't been able to recover. And so we wanted to make sure that we didn't put ourselves in a position where we would end up the same.
Yeah.
Which is why we chose manufacturing first.
Yeah. Which is really smart. And it starts you start the whole process. You can start to You can start to perfect some of those different flavors and kind of get that settled before you even, went into the tap house. So that's kind of, we were talking a little bit before we got into this, just about sort of there's some struggles around maybe not having a tap house. Like you're saying, when you start, traditionally you have both hand in hand and you guys start with the manufacturing side. Can you talk a little bit about that in the industry, just what it's like to start in manufacturing and go into a tap house, and maybe how that changed your brand and your awareness and your abilities to get partnerships or different deals?
Yeah, so like even just starting out, we were fortunate enough to live in an area that allowed us to operate a home-based business, especially a brewery, a little more commercial, industrial setting, but it allowed us to keep costs low and focus on maybe spending a little more on the equipment to work with quality products that way. But just growing it up to the point where the tap house was a viable option, it definitely took a lot of community just reaching out here and there, downtown farmers markets, events, other things like Roots and Blues in town was a huge supporter of us, and just making those connections. The liquor stores all downtown here, there's multiple liquor stores that just kind of jumped on board. It's like, hey, we need you. You are the older. So there's other breweries in surrounding communities that sell their product here, but there was nothing local on the shelves for them to utilize. So just building those relationships with them, we stop in weekly, monthly as needed, and just build that relationship with them. And then as we do these downtown farmers markets and events, we're working with the community, crossing paths that were totally different from the construction world. Like we had to start from scratch. So no retail relationships prior to this. So it was very interesting just building that side of the business up.
Yeah,
for sure.
And then when you opened the tap house, how do you think did that change once the tap house was open? Like your relationships with liquor stores, did you feel like your brand got more awareness having that application?
Yeah, we did. I think it was in our second year, we did like 198 events in a year, just between the two of us. We had a couple of random like step in for Christmas and whatnot, but that was our face-to-face contact and customer base. Like that is how we had to get our brand out there. And then when we opened up the tap house, now we have our logo is on the awnings at the front, and everybody coming to the downtown core sees it now. And so opening up the tap house kind of solidified, I think, in people's minds that we were serious, maybe, or what's the word? They kind of, that brand recognition just went next level. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, amazing. Marc, you talked a little bit about community, and I kind of like interjected there and just said that's so Salmon Arm, but just can you guys speak about just doing business in Salmon Arm and sort of our community here and what that's meant to you guys and how you feel like that's helped or excelled your business in any way?
Yeah. Salmon Arm is all about local support, and we felt that from day one. And so like our tagline is locally sourced, locally brewed. And Salmon Arm came in right behind us and has supported us right out of the gate very well, whether, like Marc said, on the liquor store shelves or in restaurants in town, and just people just seeking out that they want to support local businesses that give back to our community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I think that's a sentiment that's shared a lot with businesses in town, is like, even if like we have businesses in town doing global, you know, business for sure, but what the common story is that local kind of community heart is, we've been talking a little bit about like we try to achieve. It's like, no, we're overachievers here in this community. So like, and it shows through, you know, like 198 events in 1 year. That's overachieving. It's like, so I definitely put you guys into that bracket of overachievers. But it is a common story in town, and it's true. I feel like our community has this special just love for local. You know, we have people like Anjin Skip who started Shuswap Shop Local. This is a, you know, an initiative that is not, she's not getting paid for that. It's community spirit, it's community heart, it's elevating and amplifying the voices of our community. And I think that's, you know, an example. There's hundreds of people, thousands of people like that in the community. So yeah, that's really lovely. I wanted to just ask a few more questions around sort of like trends in the industry. So what do you see for opportunity and in the industry, in the food and sort of food and beverage and agriculture industry, specifically within Salmon Arm and for yourselves? Like, you've got the tap house now. And I know I'm not putting you on the spot to say what's the next big thing. I feel like you've done a lot. But do you see any opportunities you know, in the community and with Ricochet?
Well, I think for us, the biggest opportunity for us is to introduce Salmon Arm to craft beer. So at Taphouse, we don't just have 10 taps. We got 36 taps, and those taps don't all carry our product. We have 8 cider taps, 28 beer taps, and the ones that carry our product range from as low as probably 8 to up to 14. So there's still another 14 to whatever taps that don't carry our product, and we're sourcing those filling beers from small craft breweries in BC. Independently owned, as small as they get, from the ones that brew it in their backyard like us, to the ones from downtown Vancouver, up north in Prince George, out in the Kootenays. Like, we're sourcing not the big sellers necessarily, but we're also looking for the weird and interesting beers out there too. So it's very cool that way, and we get to work in the brewing community that way too, and it allows us to build relationships with these craft beer brewers that we would normally never have if we just pull it off the store shelves or the big shipping container world that we distribute through occasionally with the bigger beers. But I literally drive around the province, and I stop at breweries and cideries on my travels, and I pick up a couple beers from them, bring them back home, and then once they're done, we go on to the next one. And we're always looking for the guys who don't have distribution, the ones that are the small town breweries that don't get the exposure around the province, that probably would never end up in Salmon Arm.
Yeah.
Never mind just on the liquor store shelves, but period, on a tap, you would never see them.
Yeah.
So now, it's brought some unique recognition. It's like, oh, where's that beer from? Or where's that brewery name come from?
Yeah.
And now we can kind of share that throughout the Salmon Arm community. Hey, there's more beers out there than just what you find on your local restaurant taps.
Yeah.
And it's everybody's got their creative edge, and so that you're not pouring the same beer every week. We get to the point where we're changing 4 taps every 4 days.
Wow.
So it's
a lot of variety.
Yeah, a lot of variety.
I love that. I didn't think I could love Ricochet anymore, but that was like, I didn't actually know like how much in depth you went to find those sort of smaller people and amplified their voice. I feel like that's huge. That's such a beautiful thing. And you've brought an experience to Salmon Arm. Like that, you know, you brought a product that you created and crafted locally. Yes, that's amazing. And you do like so much with that. But now you've amplified BC's craft beer voice in our local community. So that's, you know, that's a destination. That's, you know, I love that. I think that's wonderful. And for you guys too. You know, that's community over competition for sure. Like, and I know you guys are all about that. Like, maybe you want to speak a little bit about food. Like, I know I loved that when you guys decided to open the tap house, one of the things was we want to complement our downtown. I mean, you brought vibrancy to the downtown, having, you know, the patio right by Ross Street Plaza where you can watch music happening, the fountains there, you know, it's brought a lot to the community, orphan late hours. So there's all of these things that have, you know, added a lot to our downtown, family friendly, all that. But the food aspect is really unique. So can you speak to that a little?
Yeah. I'm not a foodie. I do not love cooking. And so it was not going to be an area that I wanted to delve into. You know, if we needed to, the full kitchen would have required so much more funding. It would have required a head, you know, cook or anything like that. And it's just not, it's not our specialty. And we want to lean into what we do well, and that's beer. And so, but with that, we wanted you to be able to not just come and have beer and pepperoni stick. We wanted you to be able to come and still enjoy and feel like you had more than just a snack. And so, yeah, our location doesn't allow for a commercial kitchen. So we have a prep kitchen. Location was very important for us, and so that was a huge deciding factor on our food menu. And so we decided to tap into the amazing food businesses that we already have in Salmon Arm. So we support, oh, I should have counted it up. Everything on our menu is locally sourced.
Yeah.
So the Nom makes our sandwiches and we panini them. Holy Hand Pies, we have their meat pies on our menu. Grillers Meats up the road, we've got their sausage rolls. Hanawai, we have their pho. We've got Inspired Breads, their pretzels. We do make our beer cheese from scratch. It is our number one seller. And then new this winter, we started with our beer cheese mac and cheese with pulled pork. We do make that from scratch in-house. But everything else we source through other businesses. So that's given us an opportunity to provide a menu for food that people are looking for, to draw them in and fill their bellies with their beer.
Yeah.
But it's also an opportunity for us, to support the other local businesses in town as well.
I love that. And then the other unique thing is that you can bring your food.
Oh, yes, that too.
So you can get takeout and actually diet. So I know I've had, friend dates at Ricochet, and I've brought pho, and someone's brought pad thai, and someone's brought sushi, and then another one has something they even made at home. Like, it's really unique to be able to bring. I know that concept is almost in reverse. Sometimes there's bring your own drink. I've experienced that, but I've never experienced bringing
people when they would ask us, well, what are you gonna do for food? And we would tell them what the plan was, and they'd be like, is that gonna work? Yes, of course it's gonna work. And not only does it work for us, we've had restaurants downtown tell us our takeout volumes have increased because we opened. And it's like, yes, like that's awesome, because it's helping everybody. Yeah, it's not just for us, it's for community.
I love that. Do you guys have any collaborations or partnerships in the community you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I think one of the highlights, I think, in the collaboration side is our work with the Salmon Arm Silverbacks. So we approached them early last year, before hockey season kicked off, and said, hey, we're looking to support community in any way possible. And I just happened to have a great tasting beer just sitting in the tanks waiting to be released. and it wasn't branded yet. And I was like, what can I do with this? Where would this fit? You know, you're always thinking of branding names and stuff like that. I'm like, well, maybe we can present this to the hockey team, because in the BCHL there's a lot of other hockey teams that have a beer branded after.
Oh, okay.
And Salmon Arm didn't have one, and I'm like, well, maybe we can do something with this. So we sat down with the marketing staff, with the Silverbacks and the rec center, and having the beer gardens at the rec center. We're like, well, let's get something local on here and move some beer from our brewery through the taps, and we produced a nice Vienna lager, which is a nice smooth drinking beer, a little on the more amberish side, and it's just a nice cozy beer for the winter time, sitting on the rink seats and enjoying. But with that beer, the cans, we worked with the graphic designers, with the Silverbacks and ours personally, and created a label that highlighted the Silverback emblem, but still incorporated our design. And
Fantastic.
Yeah, it turned out really well. We're super happy with it. But the bonus from that beer, so the sales of the cans, we donate back $1 per can that we've sold throughout the season. I think this year we did 2 batches of it, which probably round us off around 2,000 cans throughout the season. And so that money will get donated back to the Silverbacks for a scholarship that is used within the community. So that was a cool opportunity for us. And then along with that, we got some recognition through them with rink boards and just work hand in hand. We did some work when the BCHL brought the All-Star game to Salmon Arm. We did some collaboration downtown with outdoor ball hockey and tasting gardens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a cool opportunity just to work with them. We'll do some off-season work. They got a big golf tournament coming up where you hang out with them there a bit, and then
Not too shabby.
and then get back into next year and see where things land, and hopefully roll with it again next year and keep going strong. But it's been a cool opportunity, a cool keepsake for some people, cool presentation. We had one guy that's like, where do I get this? How do I get a hold of this? I want to buy a couple flats and just share them with the boys at the rink and the hockey teams, gift baskets, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Cool opportunity, cool branding, cool working relationship with the community organization. So yeah, very cool that way.
And we're still thankful to be on tap at the Salmon Arm Rec for the games. Yeah, you can get a glass of our Silverback lager there. It just has increased our exposure just exponentially even more. So for sure.
That's amazing. I love that it's such a community, again, a nice Salmon Arm community story. I know it happens other places, but it's so Salmon Arm, like community, collaboration, connection, rising everybody up together. Can you guys just speak a little bit around doing business in Salmon Arm, like our location, our climate, the community itself, community organizations, that kind of thing, that have really helped you be successful in business in Salmon Arm?
Well, the lake is a huge draw for Salmon Arm and tourism. Our weather is beautiful. We experience, all the seasons. And so I think that's a huge draw for people to live here, work here. And so in the summertime, we always see our beer sales go up quite a bit as well.
Yeah, and I think even on the other side of that, in the winter, beer sales aren't the greatest. Like it's not a hot sunny day, you're not sipping it on the patio kind of thing. So before we opened the tap house, we would do a bunch of farmers markets, and as the farmers markets the days got colder, the farmers markets closed down, and you go from like 5 to 7 a week to down to 1, maybe 2 a week, and we're traveling all over the Shuswap, Okanagan to do these, and we found it's just not viable to make this an option to continue at this growth prior to the tap house. And now having the ability to operate downtown in Salmon Arm with a year-round location, 7 days a week. It gave us a new lease on what the brewery has potential for. And we opened a lot of doors that way. But the downtown busyness, even in the off season, so our off season being the winter, is still sustainable. Like it's enough to do business comfortably downtown and not have to worry about what the end of the month is going to look like.
Yeah.
So that was a great boost to our business, just operating downtown, finding a location that was suitable. We could have put it anywhere in town, but you got to look at your business and what it offers and where it best is highlighted in our community.
Yeah, for sure.
And the fact that Salmon Arm is right on the Trans-Canada Highway, right? Like you're driving through. We're very centrally located in Salmon Arm, in between your big centers that you do need to access anything large. And so the location of Salmon Arm is just absolutely prime.
Yeah, for sure. That's what a lot of people say about our location. We've got the international airports within an hour, 2 of them. We are on the Trans-Canada, halfway between Vancouver and Calgary. I mean, it's very, very good for any transportation of goods or getting any product in or out, right? So that is really amazing. Can you guys speak to any sort of I want to say like community support that you've received, maybe organizations that, have helped, your vibrancy of your business or the sustainability of your business?
Number one is absolutely Salmon Arm Economic Development Society, and Kate, who is here with us. Number one supporter right here for business support, for being so brilliant with your big connects and inviting businesses in for free workshops and business training and social media. Like the amount of wisdom I have gained from you and your team and Jenna with Trilogy, we would not be where we are today without that. And I don't say that lightly, because when you step into a hospitality business and something, now we didn't market construction, we just picked up jobs and completed them and moved to the next one. And now with the tap house and the brewery, it's like, our marketing, our website, it dove us into a whole area that I had zero expertise in. And so the fact that I got to attend those workshops and gain all that knowledge was major business support for us. So I speak very highly of those events. Also, Community Futures has been a huge support for us with funding and business support that way, just to see our business model and our opportunity. We really appreciate that. The business forum as well is another huge aspect, just to be able to glean from other business owners in the area. I'm kind of like a sponge. I just want to learn all the things. Bring it to me. I want to. Yeah, and I have definitely felt that here in Salmon Arm, and just the support from other businesses as well has been outstanding.
Yeah, I feel like the Salmon Arm, like obviously I'm part of one of the organizations, but it's like I've heard over and over the standard of business support in a community. This is not necessarily normal, that it's pushing the right eyes. Yeah, right? Yeah. And I think it's people driven again. It comes from the community. You guys have brought so much to this already. I just feel like, we're learning. I've learned a lot about Ricochet that I didn't even know, which is fantastic. We like to try and sort of move towards the end with some kind of fun rapid fire questions if you guys are up to it. So I've got a few that I thought I would throw at you. So we're going to call this the rapid fire section of the podcast.
Bring it on.
Okay, so Salmon Arm has a tagline, small city, big ideas. We are a small city, but we are doing big business all over the world. And we have innovators and creators and entrepreneurs that have these brilliant ideas and have developed incredible businesses. You guys among that crowd. So our tagline being small city, big ideas. If you could rename our tagline to be small city, big what would it be?
Small city, big beer. Yeah, seems pretty good.
Okay. Next one. Salmon Arm we have this thing we say 10 minutes to anywhere in Salmon Arm. And really it is. I mean, my commute is literally 1.5 minutes from home to work. So what is the shortest? We know you're a family. We know that you have kids running all over. You know that your actual home is just outside of the city limits. So what is your shortest commute of the day?
Yeah, we do all of our sourcing of groceries, all of that as well. But my shortest commute is to the Salmon Arm stationery store, who is our partner or our building neighbor. I buy my paper for our menus there and some office supplies and whatnot. So I literally am like in one door and out the other.
So we could say definitely less than 30 seconds.
Oh gosh, yes. And I'm a fast walker, so.
Okay, so do you guys want to shout out to any local businesses or business heroes within the community?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we never want to forget anybody, but all the businesses that are on our menu, for sure, we mentioned some of them earlier as well. They are just as much a part of our business as our beer is. To up support that. Yep. Yeah. Amazing. Okay, Mark.
Fave Ricochet beer.
Ooh, wow. I would have to say it's one of the ones that's not even in cans yet.
Oh, this is like TC. Okay.
So probably our blackberry sour. You can find it on the taps at the tap house, but they've released this year, and we got more to come. There's still lots of beers in the tool chest back home. So yeah, looking forward to some new ones here.
Amazing. I love that. Okay, and this. Rapid fire question. A little cheeky, but hey, honest. Starting a business with your significant other? Yes? No?
Depends on who you are.
It's got to be the right fit.
Yeah, absolutely, it has to be the right fit. Yeah, very blessed in this working relationship. Yeah, it is not normal that you can enter business with your partner, with your husband, wife, and succeed at it. Yeah, so very blessed in that option.
You guys have done amazing. You're a power team. You've done an incredible amount of work from, even pre-beer days. And it sounds like you guys are headed in the right direction for a long time. Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's wonderful. It's great to hear just about people and the stories that make Salmon Arm go around. So we really appreciate you guys being here.
It's awesome.
Thank you.